Hey guys, does the cooler on your bass boat really stink at keeping ice frozen throughout the course of a day? I'm going to show you a little hack that'll really improve that. Stick around. Hey folks, Keith here, Chicken Thigh Fishing. Welcome aboard and welcome to the Getting It Done video series. So I had a fella comment on one of my videos on my bass boat, and he was asking me about the cooler because he said the cooler in his boat really stinks and ice doesn't last in it at all. And I had the same problem. I have a 2021 Tracker Protein 175 TXW, and out of the factory, it's got a nice cooler. Nice, spacious cooler. I can fit 20 pounds of ice in, a whole ton of drinks, but ice does not last, especially in really hot weather. Within a couple of hours, you have nothing but water in there. So that was a problem for me too, and it's one of those things that I fixed a while back, and I improved it, but I never did a video on it at the time, and I got to start learning to do videos when I do that, so it helps other people out. So I was walking around Home Depot one day and I ran across one of these. It's a 2 foot by 2 foot square of styrofoam type insulation. It's an inch thick, and again, it's 2 feet by 2 feet. All I needed was one to cut the dimensions to fit the inside of my cooler. And now, so a little note for you mathematicians out there. When I took the measurements of my cooler, I figured out that out of the factory it had around about 1,600 cubic inches of space. And I can fit a ton of stuff in there. I can fit 20 pounds of ice. I can fit a whole bunch of drinks in there to last me all day. But when you take something that's an inch thick and you put that on every wall, you're reducing the length, you're reducing the width, and you're reducing the height because you're putting a piece on the floor. And I figured out I was going from about 1,600 cubic inches of space to about 1,000 cubic inches of space. So that's a pretty significant difference. And I didn't want to lose that much space in my cooler because when I go out all damn day. I don't know about you. So what I did was I split it in half. Made it about a 1/2 inch thick. And when you do the math on that, I only lost about a little less than 300 cubic inches. And so now I still have plenty of room in there for 20 pounds of ice and a whole bunch of drinks. And I would imagine there's 100 different ways you can slice this in half. What I did was after I cut it to size, so it had manageable pieces to, fit in there, I just used a hacksaw blade and I carefully sliced it in half. And again, there's probably 100 different ways you can do that, but that's what I did. I used a hacksaw blade. It worked perfectly fine. And I also took the floor piece, the piece that goes on the floor, and I took a little hole saw and I just drilled through it so there's a hole to access the drain and the drain plug there. And you can either do that or not do it, or you could, just cut out the corner of the floor piece so you have access to your drain. But anyway, I did that. I saved a lot of space. And so I guess the biggest question is, did it make a difference? Heck yeah, it made a difference. My ice lasts all day now. Literally all day. Even in Florida, after I'm out all day, I'll still have a third or a quarter of my ice left in there, and it's still ice. So if you have a reason to have ice, especially if you need to throw some in to manage the temperature of your live well, if you're in a tournament or something like that, or heck, just to have your drinks cold or your food cold or fruit or something in there. This little simple hack, I want to say this was about $10. It might have been $9 or $12 or whatever, but it was right in that range. And I did that to my cooler, made all the difference in the world. And so I want to thank Mr. Marshall for commenting on that video and asking me about the cooler. Sorry I didn't do a video on it at the time, but that's what I did. That's what worked. And I'm telling you, it made a huge difference for the cooler on my bass boat. So it's an easy upgrade, a cheap upgrade, and a simple upgrade. And it really makes a difference on your fishing day. So I hope this was a help to you. And we'll see you next time on Getting It Done. Until then, stay fishing, my friends.